Today, guys, it's Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things dirty through a common sense lens. And welcome to Sunday Funday, boys and girls. At least our little version of it out there, ladies and gentlemen. Where we get together and we talk about the Bible. Specifically, we just kind of read out of the book, which is kind of what we're doing. This is a Bible study by definition, because we are going over and studying the Bible. So that's kind of where we're getting at with all of this. And we've got a good book to get started today, boys and girls. We had a great little end with Esther last week. That was a wonderful story. It was a great way to finish all of that off. And today we begin the book of Job. So a lot of people probably know some of those stories pretty well. Some crazy and wild and hairy stuff we're going to get up into this one as well, so it should be a very good time. And I appreciate all of you guys' well wishes and all of that kind of stuff that I got while I was out sick. I think I'm going to start going in. I think I'm going to start getting into a vitamin regimen and start doing vitamin C and D again, since the fact that I don't go outside very much anymore. And the frickin' kids bring home every sniffle and sneeze that they can get. So yeah, since I don't get out among the people, among the population, wife generally ends up going to the store and doing stuff as well. And so it's like one of those situations where now that I'm not interacting with the general public on a regular basis, like I have done with so many of my other past jobs and been outside all the time and stuff like that, clearly, so like I said, clearly my immune system is taking a hit because of that. So we're definitely have to figure out how next time we get a little extra money together, we're having to get some vitamin D and vitamin C and start taking those on a regular basis, because we can't keep having times where I go down like that. That was ridiculous. And Sudafed didn't help and nothing. It was just a big old mess. So I appreciate all of you guys checking stuff out. We were still getting subscribers. We got some great views on all the videos out there. So I appreciate all of you guys helping out with that, liking and commenting and all that kind of stuff. I do see that. So I appreciate you guys very, very, very much doing all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, boys and girls, we're getting into the book of Job today. That should be a lot of fun. That'll be a good one to get into. So before we get into all of that, of course, we're going to say hi to all of you fabulous folks out there in the chat. But as a friendly reminder, the stream does operate a little bit different than some of the other ones out there as well. We kind of do a little bit of a thing here. Well, we talk about, we basically, the point is to go through and just read as much of the book as we possibly can, right? And that's the whole point, is try to at some point have the entire thing documented here in video format with, just my occasional thoughts and occasional tangents that I go off comparing things to like how things are working in our current society right now, right? The quote unquote modern society that we find ourselves in. Well, when we compare the people back then to the people nowadays, it's really not all that much different. Human nature just doesn't really change. Just the technology that we get to blow ourselves up with is a little bit better every time. So that's kind of where it's been at for a while, but I actually really like this. It's been a lot of fun going through this, and I know there's a lot of you folks out there that really enjoy this and really appreciate it as well. So it's always good to see all you fabulous folks. So as usual, we'll give you all the full little disclaimers, and then we'll say hi to all you fabulous folks out there in the chat. If you got any comments, questions, concerns, any of that kind of stuff, make sure you guys leave those down there in the live stream chat out there. We will be going over all of that at the end. So if you got any questions, comments, or concerns about anything, whether we go over, whether it's something you want us to go back over, maybe a word we need to look up the definition for, maybe dig a little deeper into what that word actually means, by all means, put those questions, comments, concerns in the chat, any of that kind of fun stuff out there. And at the end of the stream, for about the last 15 minutes or so, we'll go through and we'll read all of those off, right? So that way anybody out there that might be lurking and listening or catching this on the replay, and for some reason they can't see the chat or whatever, they can go out there and they can hear all of their questions and answers as well, because there's a good possibility if you've got that question out there, somebody else does. And not everybody either has the chance, because they can't actually watch the stream. They can't actually watch the stream and participate in the chat, or maybe they're too afraid to ask that question. So by all means, have at it, ask those questions. There is nothing wrong with honest questioning. There's a great saying from Jefferson that I like, that was given, he was given his nephew before he went off to college, was question with boldness, even the very existence of God, because God would rather honest questioning than blindfolded fear. And I think that's a good one out there. So I appreciate all that kind of stuff. So yeah, not a pastor, not a priest, none of that kind of fun stuff. Never been in any kind of seminary school, just a toddler little Christian over here that the old man upstairs told me to read the damn book. Told me to read the book to all of you fabulous folks out there on our chat, and that's what we've been doing ever since. So that's what we're going to get into today, boys and girls. And like I said, we got the book of Job today, so that is going to be a fun one. What's up, John Washburn? Good to see you, buddy. He says, I think the War Roar made $10 million so far. I believe it. Even like with me being as sick as I was, whenever I got a chance to like do a little doom scrolling through Twitter, I was trying to tag articles and like keep things bookmarked so we'd have stuff to talk about. And yeah, I saw that because we did a video over the international box office last weekend, and it was only made like what, 2 million or something like that in the entire international box office. It was pathetic. So yeah, that thing's probably ended up flopping. But hey, that's what happens when you decide to try to rewrite Tolkien and think you're smarter than his think you're smarter than the audience out there. So good job with that. Comic Relief Crusader, what's up, buddy? He says, hail, dudes, hail. Good to see you, buddy. Hope everything's going well for you. Hope everything's going well for you. And I've been going through some rough times, so I hope you're doing well as well. How did I miss Cat on Pause? Why is that one not showing up in the chat? I saw that one out there. I don't know why it's not showing up in the Rumble chat. That's weird. That's all right. Pause, we see you out there. We see you, Pause. We see you. Hey, there you go. Comic Relief Crusader, just want to start by saying Jesus is answering prayers. Got the car fixed up for $52. Wow, $52. Hell yes. That is paying off the rest of the just paying off the rest. The season goes well into 2025. Absolutely. Congratulations, Comic Relief Crusader. I'm glad to hear that, my friend. I am very glad to hear that as well. Yes, the Lord provides. The Lord provides. Glad it worked out, John. Appreciate all you guys out there. Or Mike, appreciate all you guys make sure you're keeping him in your prayers too. I appreciate all that. Spaceship Vampire, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Glad you made it in, Spaceship Vampire. Hey, there we go. Cool. We got somebody over on the Rumble side now. Yay. There we go. Tim Hayes, our very first channel member. Good to see you, Tim Hayes. Says, hail all. Hail, Tim Hayes. And asking where JR24 is. Well, he's here now. JR24 is in here now. JR24 is in here now. So there we go. There we go. Captain Have Fun. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Audio coming in okay? I know Jimbo was having some issues with audio last week, so let me know if everything sounds good to you guys out there. Although you'd probably yell at me and tell me if it didn't. Animation Overload says, good day all. Today is my grandma's birthday. She's 84 years old. Well, happy birthday to Animation Overload's grandma. That's freaking awesome, man. 84 years old. That's a hell of a long run. I love that. That's great. May we all live to such heights. May we all live to such heights. That is awesome. That is awesome. That's a lot of the world you've seen in 80 years. That is crazy. Someone asked me how long the fourth Doctor scarf. Well, it's got to be between 16 and 18 feet long, 6 feet on each side, wrapped around the neck, and enough for him to trip on. Ah, there you go, Captain Have Fun. Yeah, that was one of our little cosplayers out there. She was asking about that. I remember that. Sucks you didn't get that. Didn't get any more shows this week. So there you go. There you go. Chaos in Roswell. What's going on? Should I pack a bowl of iced runts or the Georgia Velvet OG? Ooh, there you go. Well, I mean, I don't know. Christmas sounds like a better time for iced runts, I would almost think. But Georgia Velvet just sounds really good. Georgia Velvet just sounds really good. So I would probably go with that. Georgia Velvet just sounds better right now. So yeah, that just sounds much wonderful. So yeah, pack that bowl, buddy. Pack that bowl. And there he is, JR24. What's going on? Bonjour, fellow believers. Bonjour, JR24. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. There we go. Oh, don't worry about it, JR24. I was sick as a dog last week, so I missed most of last week as well, dude. I was sick as a dog. We made it to the Thursday night show on, and that was it. That was it. There you go. Casual Therian who can finally do quadopics. This is pause. All right. What's up, Stelios? Beware of false prophets who come in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. There you go. Yeah, that's probably gonna. I can't remember where that one comes from, but yeah, we'll get to that one for sure. We will get to that one for sure. But glad you made it in, Stelios. Glad you made it in. Lavistro. It's like Mike muted. I don't believe you, Lavistro, but good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, Lavistro. Good to see you, man. Always good to see you. Oh, you're the not common, says Stelios. Good to see you guys. There we go. There we go. Bubba! Mr. Ford. What's going on, Bubba? Good to see you, buddy. Says, hey, y'all. Good to see you, Bubba. Good to see you. See, now Levistro's just being, now Levistro's just trolling. Now Levistro's just trolling. I love it. I love our good trolls. He's a good troll. We love Levistro. He's a great friend. He's a good dude. Absolutely good brother. Absolutely good brother. So, yeah, there you go. All right. There we go. Cornestas. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that's how the Cornestas. I don't think it's how it works. Stelios. I don't think cornestas is how it works. All right, boys and girls, we're going to start off with a little prayer today, as per usual. And because I like tradition, I like ritual. I like keep doing the same things over and over again. It makes me feel nice when it comes to stuff like this. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull up our good book today. Oh, boom. We have, oh, that was weird. Wrong screen. I don't know why it's pulling up that one. That's funny. But this is what happens when I update my computer. This is why you don't update your computer, boys and girls. This is why you don't ever update your computer, because then it does stuff like this. Then it does stuff. Oh, I don't want the browser one. Yeah, we want screen capture. We need this screen right there. That one. This is what happens when you update your computer. Don't ever update your computer. It is bad for your computer. It is bad for your computer. Sure, JR24. We can throw that in there. Oh, man. Oh, there we go. So, all right. Got the Job's Good Life today, boys and girls. We're going to start off with Job 1. Here, let me, hold on. Still being a little funny. Not anywhere near bad as what it was before, but it's still being a little funny. Stupid nose. Stupid nose. Hell, let's keep all of our, especially going into the holidays and everything else, with everybody traveling and all that kind of stuff, we should keep everybody's health in mind right now. We got some friends at church that are having some issues and stuff like that too. So yeah, let's just hope all of our health can be very well throughout the holidays. Nobody likes being sick during the holidays. Which, since I was sick before the holidays, that means we'll be okay. We'll be okay through the holidays. So, all right, boys and girls. Alrighty. Let's do a little moment in prayer, and then we will get started with our book of Job today. Father, we come before you today grateful and humble for the beautiful gifts that you've given us. Thank you for the health that we do have, Father, and may our health continue and grow and be stronger, especially through these holidays with everyone traveling and everybody mixing companies and crossing state lines and crossing germs and all of that kind of fun stuff that normally goes on with this time of year. And especially those within the colder weather climates out there, Father. Keep an eye on them as well. So thank you for the good health that you do give us, and help us get through the sicknesses that we find ourselves in, especially during this joyous holiday season, Father. This season, celebrating your Son, Jesus Christ's birth, could not be a more joyous and beautiful time, Father. Let us concentrate on that and the miracle that his virgin birth was, Father, the Immaculate Conception. Father, thank you so very much for giving your own begotten Son to be our Savior, to die on a cross, conquer death, and be raised 3 days later. Father, thank you for the blessings, and thank you for his sacrifice in this wonderful and joyous time of year, when so many of us get caught up in the hubbub of all of the rest of it. Father, let us remember why we celebrate this time of year. So thank you, Father. Keep us all safe in our travels, if anybody out there is traveling, and keep everybody's health in good tier. And Father, open up the doors for us that you wish us to open, and let us walk through them, and let us enjoy the good blessings that we have from you with your eternal love and your eternal patience with all of us. Thank you for everything, Father. Guide us today and give us wisdom as we study your good servant Job's book. Thank you for that. As God has declared, so say we all. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. And all God's people said, Amen. Alrighty. Let's get started. All right, Job 1, Job's good life. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was pure and upright, one who feared God and turned away from evil. 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. His possessions included 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yokes of oxen, 500 female donkeys. In addition, he had a very great household. Thus, he was the greatest of all the people in the East. Now his sons used to go and hold a feast in the house of each one in turn, and they would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. When the days of their feasting were finished, Job would send for them and sanctify them. He would get up early in the morning, offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job thought, perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. This was Job's customary practice. Now the day came when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also arrived among them. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" And Satan answered the Lord, "From roving about on the earth and from walking back and forth across it." So the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him on earth, a pure and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil." Then Satan answered the Lord, "Is it for nothing that Job fears God? Have you not made a hedge around him and his household and all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hand, and his livestock have increased in the land. But extend your hand and strike everything he has, and he will no doubt curse you to your face." So the Lord said to Satan, "All right then, everything he has is in your power. Only do not extend your hand against the man himself." So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. Now the day came when Job's sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And a messenger came to Job, saying, "The oxen were plowing, and the donkeys were grazing beside them, and the Sabeans swooped down and carried them all away, and they killed the servants with the sword." Sabeans. Spoilers who spoiled them. Sabeans swooped down. Bootian invaders. Okay, the name Sheba is used to represent the inhabitants. Okay. So basically, yeah, swooped in is just kind of, okay, I get it. Yep, Sabians, so that's just the people who did it. Swooped down and carried them all away. They killed the servants with the sword, and only I alone, escaped to tell you. While this one was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, "The fire of God has fallen from heaven and has burned up on the sheep and the servants, and it has consumed them. I alone, escaped to tell you." Sorry, I forgot to start kick. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I forgot to start kick. Sorry, guys. I just remembered that. I'm going to make sure we have it everywhere because Darth Dave likes to show up. So there's a few other people that like to show up on Kick. And I don't want anybody to miss out on the opportunity to be here. There we go. There we go. Don't want, especially the story of Job. It's kind of funny too. Like, this is one of the few times you've actually seen like Satan and conversations between him and the Father like legitimately go on, and I think stuff like that's just fascinating. All right, there we go. While one was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, "The fire of God has fallen from heaven and has burned up the sheep and the servants. It has consumed them, and only I alone, escaped to tell you." While this one was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 bands and made a raid on the camels and carried them all away. And they killed the servants with the sword. And only I alone, escaped to tell you." While this one was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, "Your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And suddenly a great wind swept across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house. And it fell on the young people, and they died. Only I alone, escaped to tell you." Ooh, ouch. Your sons and your daughters, all your kids. Then Job got up and tore his robe. He shaved his head, and then he threw himself down with his face to the ground. He said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will return there. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. May the name of the Lord be blessed." In all this, Job did not sin, nor did he charge God with moral impropriety. So literally, even after the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. I guess that's where the old saying comes from. Quite literally. Like, he gave it all to me. It's all his, right? It's all his. It's all his to take away, right? Interesting. Job 2. Again the day came when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also arrived among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said to Satan, "Where do you come from?" We're getting a second one. And the Lord said to Satan, "Where do you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roving about on earth, and from walking back and forth across it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? So that's why it said the last one's a prologue. Okay. Yeah, okay. For no one is like him on earth, a pure and upright man, one who fears God and turns away from evil, and he still holds firmly to his integrity, so that you stirred me up to destroy him without reason. But then Satan answered the Lord, skin for skin. Indeed, a man will give up all that he has to save his life. But extend your hand and strike his bone and his flesh, and he will no doubt curse you to your face. Okay, so it's literally like God's like, look, I let you take everything away from him, and he still didn't sin against me. Right? And Satan's like, well, what about this? Let's try again. Yeah, evil bastard. So the Lord said to Satan, all right, he is in your power. Only preserve his life. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord, and he afflicted Job with a magnificent ulcer from the sole of his feet to the top of his head. Job took a shard of broken pottery to scrape himself while he was sitting among the ashes. Then his wife said to him, are you still holding firmly to your integrity? Curse God and die. But he replied, you're talking like one of the godless women who would do. Should we receive what is good from God and not also receive what is evil? In all this, Job did not sin by what he said. It's always the women. It's always the women. When Job's 3 friends heard about all this calamity and that had happened to him, each of them came from his own country. Elephaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, Zophar the Naamathite. They met together to come show sympathy for him and to console him. But when they gazed intently from a distance, but did not recognize him, they began to weep loudly. Each of them tore his robes and threw dust in the air over their heads. They then sat down with him on the ground for 7 days and 7 nights. Yet no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that his pain was very great. Just good friends trying to be there for a buddy in a bad situation. Just good friends. You ain't got to say nothing. Just knowing you're here is enough. That's some good friends right there. Job 3. Job regrets his birth. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day he was born. Job spoke up and said, let the day on which I was born perish, and the night that said, a man has been conceived. That day, let it be darkness. Let not God on high regard it, nor light shine on it. Let darkness and the deepest shadow claim it. Let a cloud settle on it. Let whatever blackens the day terrify it. That night, let darkness seize it. Let it not be included among the days of the year. Let it not enter among the number of the months. Indeed, let the night be barren. Let no shout of joy penetrate it. Let those who curse the day curse it. Those who prepare to rouse Leviathan, let its morning stars be darkened. Let it wait for daylight, but find none. Nor let it see the first rays of dawn. Because it did not shut the doors of my mother's womb on me, nor did it hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not die at birth? And then why did I not expire as I came out of the womb? Why did the knees welcome me? And why were there 2 breasts that I might nurse at them? For now I would be lying down and would be quiet. I would be asleep and then at peace with kings and counselors of the earth who built for themselves places now desolate, or with the princes who possessed gold, who filled the palaces with silver. Why was I not buried like a stillborn infant, like infants who have never seen the light? There the wicked cease from turmoil, and there the weary are at rest. Their prisoners relax together. They do not hear the voice of the oppressor. Small and great are there, and the slave is free from his master. Why does God give light to one who is in misery, and life to those whose soul is bitter, to those who wait for death that does not come, and search for it more than for hidden treasures, who rejoice even to the jubilation, and are exultant when they find the grave? Why is light given to a man whose way is hidden and whom God has hedged in? For my sighing comes in a place of my food, and my groanings flow forth like water. For the very thing I dreaded has happened to me. What I feared has come upon me. I have no ease. I have no quietness. I cannot rest. Turmoil has come upon me. Job 4. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered, if someone should attempt a word with you, will you be impatient? But who can refrain from speaking? Look, you have instructed many, and you have strengthened feeble hands. Your words have supported those who stumbled, and you have strengthened the knees that gave way. But now the same thing comes to you, and you are discouraged. It strikes you, and you are terrified. Is it not your piety, your confidence, and your blameless ways your hope? Call to your mind now, who, being innocent, ever perished, and where were upright people ever destroyed? Even as I have seen, those who plow iniquity and those who sow trouble reap the same. For by breath of God they perish, and by the blast of his anger they are consumed. There is the roaring of the lion and the growing of the young lion. But the teeth of the young lions are broken. The mighty lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of lionesses are scattered. Now a word was secretly brought to me, and my ears caught a whisper of it. In the troubling thoughts of the dreams in the night, when a deep sleep falls on men, a trembling gripped me, and a terror, and made all my bones shake. Then a breath of air passes by my face. It makes the hair of my flesh stand up. It stands still, but I cannot recognize its appearance. An image is before my eyes, and I hear a murmuring voice. Is a mortal man righteous before God, or a man pure before his Creator? If God puts no trust in his servants and attributes folly to his angels, how much more to those who live in the houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushed like a moth? They are destroyed between morning and evening. They perish forever without anyone regarding it. Is it not their excess wealth taken away from them? They die, yet without attaining wisdom. All right, Job 5. Call now. Is there anyone who will answer you? To which of the holy ones will you turn? For wrath kills the foolish person, and anger slays the silly one. I myself have seen the fool taking root, but suddenly I cursed of his place, his residence. His children are far from safety, and they are crushed at the places where judgment is rendered. Nor is there anyone to deliver them. The hungry eat up his harvest, and take it even from behind the thorns, and the thirsty swallow up their fortune. For evil does not come up from the dust, nor does trouble spring up from the ground. But people are born to trouble as surely as the sparks fly upward. We're born to trouble. Boy, color me shocked there. Born to trouble. Our own lesser natures keep us separated from God sometimes. But as for me, I would seek God, and to God I would set forth my case. He does great and unsearchable things, marvelous things without number. He gives rain on the earth, and he sends water on the fields. He sets the lowly on high, and those who mourn are raised up to safety. He frustrates the plans of the crafty, so that their hands cannot accomplish what they had planned. He catches the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the cunning is brought to a quick end. They meet with darkness in the daytime, and grope about in the noontime as if it were night. So he saves from the sword that comes from their mouth, even the poor from the hand of the powerful. Thus the poor have hope, and iniquity shuts its mouth. Therefore, blessed is the man whom God corrects. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. For he wounds, but he also bandages. He strikes, but his hands also heal. He will deliver you from 6 calamities. Yes, in 7 no evil will touch you. In time of famine he will redeem you from death, and in the time of war from the power of the sword. You will be protected from malicious gossip, and will not be afraid of the destruction when it comes. You will laugh at destruction and famine, and need not be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For you will have a pact with the stones of the field, and the wild animals will be at peace with you. And you will know that your home will be secure, and when you inspect your domains, you will not be missing anything. You will also know that your children will be numerous, and your descendants like the grass of the earth. You will come to your grave in a full age, as stacks of grain are harvested in their season. Look, we have investigated this, so it is true. Hear it and apply it for your own good. Job 6. Then Job responded, "Oh, if only my grief could be weighed, and my misfortune laid on the scales too. But because it's heavier than the sand of the sea, that is why my words have been wild. For the arrows of the Almighty are within me. My spirit drinks their poison. God's sudden terrors are arrayed against me. Does the wild donkey bray when it is near grass, or does the owl low near its fodder? Can food that is tasteless be eaten without salt, or is there any taste in the white of an egg? I have refused to touch such things. They are like loathsome food to me. Oh, that my request would be realized, and that God would grant me what I long for, and that God will be willing to crush me. Then would let loose his hand and kill me. Then I would yet have my comfort. Then I would rejoice in spite of the pitiless pain, for I have not concealed the words of the Holy One. What is my strength that I should wait? What is my end that I should prolong my life? Is my strength like that of stones, or is my flesh made of bronze? Is not my power to help myself nothing, and has not every resource been driven from me? To the ones in despair, kindness should come from his friend, even if he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. My brothers have been as treacherous as a seasonal stream, and as the riverbeds of the intermittent streams that flow away. They are the dark because of ice. Snow is piled up over them. When they are scorched, they dry up. When it is hot, they vanish from their place. Caravans turn aside from their routes. They go into the wasteland and perished. The caravans of Tema looked intently for those streams. The traveling merchants of Sheba hoped for them. They were distressed because each one of them had been so confident. They arrived there, but were disappointed. For now you have become like these streams that are no help. You see a terror and are afraid. Have I ever said, give me something, and from your fortune make gifts in my favor? Or deliver me from the enemy's power, and from the hands of tyrants ransom me? Teach me, and I, for my part, will be silent. Explain to me how I have been mistaken. How painful are honest words, but what does your reproof prove? Do you intend to criticize mere words, and treat the words of a despairing man as wind? Yes, you would gamble for the fatherless, and auction off your friend. Now then, be good enough to look at me, and I will not lie to your face. Relent, let there be no falsehood. Reconsider, for my righteousness is intact. Is there any falsehood on my lips? Can my mouth not discern evil things? All right, Job 7. This is a wild conversation that clearly needs to be studied way more in depth than what we're doing here. Something a little more in depth than what I can offer you, boys and girls. But this is wild. All right. Job 7. Does not humanity have hard service on earth? And are not their days also like the days of a hired man? Like a servant longing for the evening shadow, and like a hired man looking for his wages. Thus I have been made to inherit months of futility, and nights of sorrow, and have been appointed to me. If I lie down and say, when will I arise? And the night stretches on, and I toss and turn relentlessly until the day dawns. My body is clothed with worms and dirty scabs. My skin is broken and festering. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and they come to an end without hope. Remember that my life is but a breath, and that my eyes will never again see happiness. The eye of him who sees me now will see me no more. Your eyes will look for me, but I will be gone. As a cloud is dispersed and then disappears, so the one who goes down to the grave and does not come up again. He returns no more to his house, nor does his place of residence know him any more. Therefore, I will not refrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. And am I the sea or the creature of the deep that you must put me under guard? If I say, my bed will comfort me, my couch will ease my complaint, then you scar me with dreams and terrify me with visions, so that I would prefer strangling and death more than life. I loathe it. I do not want to live forever. Leave me alone, for my days are a vapor. What is mankind that you make so much of them, and that you pay attention to them, that you visit them every morning and try them every moment? Will you never look away from me? Will you not let me alone long enough to swallow my spittle? If I have sinned, what have I done to you, O watcher of men? Why have you set me as your target? Have I become a burden to you? And why do you not pardon my transgressions and take away my iniquity? For now I will lie down in the dust, and you will seek me diligently, but I will be gone. Ooh. This is going to be a long conversation, I have a funny feeling. I don't know how long the book of Job is, but whoa. All right, Job 8. Bildad's first speech to Job. Then Bildad the Shuhite spoke up and said, How long will you speak these things, seeing that the words of your mouth are like great wind? Does God pervert justice, or does the Almighty pervert what is right? If your children sinned against him, he gave them over to the penalty of their sin. But if you will look to God and make your supplication to the Almighty, if you become pure and upright, even now he will rouse himself for you and will restore your righteous abode. Your beginning will seem so small, since your future will flourish. For inquire now of the former generation, and pay attention to the findings of their ancestors. For we were born yesterday and do not have knowledge, since our days on earth are but a shadow. Will they not instruct you and speak to you and bring forth words from their understanding? Can the papyrus plant grow tall where there is no marsh? Can reed flourish without water? While they are still beginning to flower and not ripe for cutting, they can wither away faster than any grass. Such is the destiny of all who forgot God. The hope of the godless perishes, whose trust is in something futile, whose security is a spider's web. He leans against his house, but it does not hold up. He takes hold of it, but it does not stand. He is a well-watered plant in the sun. Its shoots spread over its gardens. It wraps its roots around a heap of stones, and it looks for a place among stones. If he is uprooted from his place, then that place will disown him, saying, I have never seen you. Indeed, that is the joy of his way, and out of the earth others spring up. Surely God does not reject a blameless man, nor does he grasp the hand of the evildoers. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with gladness. Those who hate you will be clothed with shame, and the tent of the wicked will be no more. All right, let's see how much farther we can get here a little bit. I think we'll probably stop at 10. I think we'll stop at 10, depending on how the conversation's going. Job 9, Job's reply to Bildad. Then Job answered, Truly I know that this is so, but how can a human be just before God? If someone wishes to contend with him, he cannot answer him 1 time in 1,000. He is wise in heart and mighty in strength. Who has resisted him and remained safe? He who removes mountains suddenly, he who overturns them in his anger. He shakes the earth out of its place so that its pillars tremble. He who commands the sun and it does not shine, and seals up the stars. He alone spreads out the heavens and threads on the waves of the sea. He makes the Bear, Orion, and the Pleiades, and the constellations of the southern sky. He does great and unsearchable things and wonderful things without number. If he passes by me, I cannot see him. If he goes by, I cannot perceive him. If he snatches away, who can turn him back? Who dares to say to him, What are you doing? God does not restrain his anger. Under him, the helpers of Rahab lie crushed. Under him, the helpers of Rahab lie crushed. Oh, yes, the helpers of Rahab. Okay. How much less then can I answer him and choose my words to argue with him? Although I am innocent, I could not answer him. I could only plead with my judge for mercy. If I summoned him and he answered me, I would not believe that he would be listening to my voice. He who crushes me with a tempest and multiplies my wounds for no reason. He does not allow me to recover my breath, for he fills me with bitterness. If it is a matter of strength, most certainly he is the strong one, and it is a matter of justice, he who will say, who will summon me? Although I am innocent, my mouth would condemn me. Although I am blameless, it would declare me perverse. I am blameless. I do not know myself. I despise my life. It is all one. That is why I say, he destroys the blameless and the guilty. If a scourge brings sudden death, he mocks at the despair of the innocent. If a land has been given into the hand of a wicked man, he covers the faces of its judges. Is it not he? Then who is it? My days are swifter than a runner, and thy speed without seeing happiness. They glide like reed boats, like an eagle that swoops down on its prey. If I say, I will forget my complaint, I will change my expression, and be careful. I dread all my sufferings, for I know that you do not hold me blameless. If I am guilty, why then weary myself in vain? If I wash myself with snow water, and make my hands clean with lye, then you plunge me into a slimy pit, and my own clothes abhor me. For he is not a human being like I am, that I might answer him, that we might come together in judgment. Nor is there an arbitrator between us, who might lay his hand on us both. Who would take his rod away from me, so that his terror would not make me afraid? Then I would speak and not fear him, but it is not so with me. I love that. There is not an arbitrator between us. There is now. Thank the Lord for Jesus Christ. All right, Job 10, an appeal for revelation. I am weary of my life. I will not complain without restraint. I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. I will say to God, do not condemn me. Tell me, why are you contending with me? Is it good for you to oppress, to despise the work of your own hands, while you smile on the schemes of the wicked? Do you have eyes of flesh, or do you see as a human being sees? Are your days like the days of a mortal, or your years like the years of a mortal, that you must search out my iniquity and inquire about my sin? Although you know that I am not guilty, and that there is no one who can deliver me out of your hand. Your hands have shaped me and made me, but now you destroy me completely. Remember that you have made me as with the clay. Will you return me to dust? Do not pour me out like milk and curdle me like cheese. You clothed me with the skin and flesh, and knit me together with bones and sinew. You gave me life and favor, and your intervention watched over my spirit. But these things you have concealed in your heart. I know that this is with you. If I sinned, then you would watch me, and you would not acquit me of my iniquity. If I am guilty, woe to me, and if I am innocent, I cannot lift my head. I am full of shame, and I am satisfied with my affliction. If I lift myself up, you hunt me as a fierce lion, and again you display your power against me. You bring new witness against me, and increase your anger against me. Relief troops come against me. Why then did you bring me out of the womb? I should have died, and no one should have seen me. I should have been as though I had never existed. I should have been carried right from the womb to the grave. Are not my days few? Cease then, and leave me alone, that I may find a little comfort before I depart, never to return to the land of darkness and the deepest shadow, to the land of utter darkness, and like the deepest darkness, and the deepest shadow and disorder, where even the light is like darkness. All right. I think that's what we're going to call it, right? That one. I think that's why we're going to call it. Job 11. Job 11. We got through 10 books of Job today, or 10 chapters of Job today. And thank you, Stelios. Apparently Job has 31 through 31. Thank you, Stelios. Oh my gosh, my throat. Let me get some more water real quick, boys and girls, and then we'll go over all your guys' conversations in the chat. We'll see what all you guys have been up to. This is one of the books that I really need to study more, because I'm always trying to figure out like what the overarching lesson is. This one, I don't understand this one as well as I understand some of the rest of them. So give me a second. Let me get some water. All right. See what have you got on this one, guys. Oh, there we go. JR24 I wonder if Job also had a toothache as part of his suffering. That certainly sounds like it could be a possibility. I would put nothing past him on that one. I would put nothing past them on that one. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Oh. Spaceship Vampire says, again, Job's one of my favorites. It's also one of the few books in the Bible where Satan gets spoken lines. Maybe it's blasphemous, but I do love a good villain. Well, I don't know how, since it's God's divinely inspired word, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I get it. Like, everybody loves a well-written villain, right? And I mean, come on. The ultimate villain, the one that all of the villains are based on. You know what I mean? Let's be completely honest, right? Like, the ultimate villain of all villains. The one that everything else gets based on. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that is great. Oh. There we go. Oh, of course I talked to both. Cut off your prayer. There's spirits who try to mess with you. I think that's not sure. It's a saying on my hometown, Stelios. That's interesting. Stelios is always in his own little world, dude. I love it. Not really. He's paying attention. It's only got his value as much as we give him. All right. Let's see here. There you go. Common Crusader there. Redo. Agreed. Very true. Spaceship Vampire. Yep. Yeah, Satan would be the ultimate villain. So it's like if you want to enjoy a good villain, it doesn't get much better than the archetype of all villains. You know, it's like Christ in the ultimate sacrifice is the archetype for majority of your heroes in Western civilization. The devil is the archetype for all your villains. I mean, think about Joker himself. I mean, just literally never is always lying. You know, is always just like a pure agent of chaos and deception. You know, so yeah. Oh, there you go. JR24 says, the story of Job is good, showing how to take suffering. It's similar to my family motto. There you go. Know thyself and learn to suffer. Oh, yeah. I could see that. Wow. That's exactly the kind of cheer. Know thyself and learn to suffer. There you go. There you go. That's cheery and optimistic. Oh, you figured that Satan of all people would invent moving the goalposts. The spaceship vampire. Yes. Oh, that is so spot on. I didn't even think about that. That is spot on. Yeah, leave it to Satan to be the first one to move the goalpost. Tim Hayes, I see you over on Kick, buddy. Yeah, leave it to Satan to be the first person to invent moving the goalposts, right? Oh my God. Oh yeah, it's true, Mike. Yeah, Comic Relief Crusader. Yeah, Crusader tearing off the robes is a serious thing to priests. Absolutely. Yeah, tearing your clothes off, putting on sackcloth and grief and throwing all that and throwing the ash on yourself. Yep. Yeah, tearing one's clothes was a public and powerful expression in grief in ancient times. Absolutely. Oh yeah, we can definitely sympathize with Job. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. I remember a joke about why Satan didn't kill Job's wife. I love this joke. Oh, basically this joke goes that keeping her alive will add to Job's suffering. Yeah, it's like, I mean, literally, she's the one that why don't you curse God? Then he'll strike you down dead and you'll be out of your suffering and I don't have to listen to you bitch anymore either. You know, that's essentially what she's saying. You know what I mean? I ain't got to listen to you bitch anymore either. You know, so it's like, yeah. It's always the damn women, man. It's always the damn women. Oh, dreams, they do a lot. There you go. Beasts of the earth equal some people. There you go, Stelios. That is true, too. Nice verses. A lot of fights, too Spartan. We love the Spartan fights. Punish, teaches, test, heal, rejoice, repeat. There you go. Punish, teach, test, heal, rejoice, repeat. There you go. That's actually not a bad little way to sum it up, Stelios. It's not too bad. But yeah, it's totally true. What? I remember the Jehovah's Witness Bible said the white of eggs was the juice of marshmallows. What the fuck? It's literally an egg white. It's literally an egg white. Like, everybody's seen an egg white. Everybody's seen an egg white. Captain Have Fun says, when I look in the mirror, I think I'll never know happiness. Oh, come on now. You should have a much brighter and positive outlook on your life. You got some things going real good for you right now, brother. You should be in a very positive mood. JR24 says, the man in the mirror. Yeah, there you go. There you go. What's up, Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips? Damn it, chat jumped on me again. What's up, Wade? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Oh, man. Oh, there you go. Just believe God's word will return fulfilled. There you go. There you go, Comic Relief Crusader. I want a Big Kelly backpack instead of a Graco baby bag. That costs a ton and has one use. I was just given a brand new Kelly Asher 85-liter backpack yesterday. Lifetime warranty. Hell yes. There you go. There you go. Thanks, Captain Have Fun, for jumping over there as well. Oh. Heavy, this one. Yes, it is, Stelios. This one was very heavy. Very old school. Yeah, knew it. I remember the Old Testament God. Yeah. Oh. Job had a job. There you go. That's right, Comic Relief. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Help spread the word out even more. Oh, there you go. Hell yeah. Yeah, Spaceship Vampire, that could be. It's a good point. I always assume the moral of the story is don't curse your life or act like a victim. That's a good point. That's a good point. I thought the villainous archetype had a handlebar mustache and a derby hat. I have no idea what you're talking about, Levistra. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't have a handlebar mustache. I always threaten my wife with one. She gets really mad at me and yells at me. It's really funny. Absolutely. Job teaches that there's hardship no matter what. He is the one that created everything, and no problem is too big for him. Satan tries to turn us away from him, but keeping strong no matter what. There you go. There you go. It's the hardships that keep us strong. Through Jesus knowing our end game is secure, and when things are hard and attack some, God has us in his hands and will return what we lost. There you go. There you go. Yeah, that's a good point, Leviestro. Let's see Joel Osteen tear his Armani suit for a potato sack. Yeah, that's never gonna happen. That's never. I mean, like, seriously, how much a huge impact would that happen? Like, if you saw like a group of like pastors and priests get together and fucking tear their clothes and throw on sackcloth and cover themselves in ash and literally go through like a march down like Washington D.C. You know what I mean? Like, right, just march right down the middle of Washington D.C. Like, that would be one of, like, I think that would be one of the most impactful statements. Dude, I'll tell you what, we should organize something like that. We should organize something like that. Who wants to wear sackcloth with me in Washington D.C.? We'll have to do it there in the summer because otherwise it's gonna be really cold. Because that place is a cold bitch in December. Okay, but like, I think we should all walk through. I think we should all walk through Washington D.C. in sackcloth and ash. Like, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, let's go. I love that idea. Hey, there you go. See, you say it worked out better for you anyway, Captain. Have fun. You thought you were getting something that wasn't going to be so good. And look at that. It turned out even better. Egg whites are of the devil. You should be ashamed of your sin. I love egg whites. I love eggs. I just love eggs. Tough times are taken away. God restores things in a better, great way. There you go. There you go. The villain silent movies with a woman tied to the train tracks. Yeah. Oh, is that what you call it? I never knew the name of him. The villain I didn't know what the name of him was. But yes, I remember the silent movie villain. Yeah. Classic. I took the story of Job as a lesson on ignoring what others think of you, and you must follow God. All right. All right. Cabin, have fun. That's not the worst idea, but that wasn't the intent. Protest abortion, that wasn't necessarily the intent, but that would definitely be one of the many. I think, like, just as a culture, as a group of Christians, it's something we should do to demonstrate the fact that, hey, guess what? We as a culture have screwed up, and it's everybody's fault. It is everybody's fault. You know what I mean? It is all our faults, and we should all take responsibility for it. And like, I love that idea. Hell, I'll tell you what, if money was a little more secure, my ass would just run out there and do it my damn self. I'm gonna see who starts joining me. I was walking around like fucking Washington D.C. like that for like a week. Oh, in the middle of July. I'd say it'd just be a big asking of forgiveness from the Lord is what it would be. Not to protest anything. It'd be more like an act of devotion. It wouldn't be a protest per se, but more like an act of devotion and like begging for forgiveness from God for all of the shit we fucking screwed up on that have got us into the damn bad situation we find ourselves in now. You know, there's plenty of good signs. People turning back to light, people turning back to beauty, turning back to God's ways, you know. But, you know, we could all use a serious day of walking around in sackcloth and ash and prostrating ourselves before the Lord for everything we've done and everything we've allowed. So, yeah, I don't know. Yes, the Dudley Do-Right villain as well. That's right. It's just like, I don't wear sackcloth in public because the Pharisees did that. I pray in silence of solitude. I don't want people to see. I want God to see. If people don't see, that's because God will. If people see, that's because God wills it. That's fair. I don't know. I think it's the intention behind the sackcloth and ash. The Pharisees did it just because they were trying to act like they pretended, right? They pretended to be good and holy and all of that kind of stuff. You know, we'd be taking after the example of, like, you know, Job and David, not the fucking Pharisees, because we knew they just did it for show, right? That's all it ever was for them, was show. You know, probably for, you know, 99%. I'm sure there was probably a couple of good ones, but like 99% of them just did it for fucking show, man. Because by doing it, they were going to get praised by everybody around them. Oh, look how holy those Pharisees are. They're throwing themselves, you know, they're prostrating themselves before all of us. They're showing how much they've, you know, yada yada yada. Like, you know, it was a fucking show. It was only a show. So Captain Half-Fuss says, only let the doctor prostrate me. Prostrate, not prostate. Oh. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. The Pharisees did it. I don't know. I just don't think they had the right intentions behind it. So, intentions were probably impure. I don't know. I'm not such a big fan of that saying anymore. I think a lot of time that was just an excuse to justify that, for evil men to think that their acts were justified. I think it's just people's excuse to justify evil people. Well, they had good intentions. No. Abortion never had a good intention, right? Hitler never had any good intentions. You know what I mean? The majority of the Pharisee never had any good intentions. You know, there was never good intentions behind any of that. You know what I mean? Like, now, did some horrific things come out of good intentions? Sure, you could argue that the nuclear bomb is a horrific thing, but it also, you know, stopped a war that would have never ended until we literally marched our way across, you know, all of the islands of Japan in the Middle East, or in the South Pacific, and would have lost so many more lives doing it that way. You know, so I don't know. That'd be a funny one to talk about sometime. Oh, ancient virtue signalers. There you go. Exactly, Spaceship Vampire. Yes, exactly. Ancient virtue signalers. Absolutely. Pharisees is an example from David as well, and it can be argued public displays are the same. Oh, yeah, I hate when the chat glitches like that. Oh. Eddie Valiant said something similar, reframed Roger Rabbit. There you go. Classic stuff. But yeah, this is a good. This book definitely talks about a lot of. Definitely gives you a lot of good conversations to have about things. If nothing else, I like that a lot. I don't know about that, Spain. I don't think I would call that good intentions. Spain had good intentions when they stole my people's land and established theocracy to justify that and persecution of Protestants. Yeah, I don't think the persecution of the Protestants was really all that good intention. It didn't sound like that was more about a power grab. So, nah. Oh, that's great. That is great. Yeah, that's just if because because that whole Protestant and them like going against other essentially Christian things, like that's something that like somebody missed that part. A few people missed that part in Paul's letters where they're talking about dealing with the other churches, and it's like, hey, not everybody's traditions are going to be exactly the same. You know what I mean? And it's, as long as as they're following like the basic tenets, and it's like, as long as there's these certain things that are undeniable, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's like the whole, the circumcision thing, right? You know what I mean? Anything that puts a stumbling block in front of one of your brothers to getting to Christ isn't something you should do. So I would say, like, if you want to talk to Protestants and you want to try to convert them to your way of thinking, that's one thing. But using force and violence, nah. See, you can't give me that shit. They did it in the name of God, claiming that God wills to cleanse their hair. Yeah, and see, and that, once again, not good intention. Once again, not good intention. That is literally the prime example of taking the Lord's name in vain. That is one of the prime examples of taking the Lord's name in vain. Oh. Not prostate, you idiot. Probate. Oh, yeah, there you go. Thing is, Job, is I remember the third commandment. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. In vain means something that God word will not return void or empty. It's not about swearing. Right. It's not about like actual like cussing. Like what we think of it nowadays. But yeah. Yeah, and I think all of those guys that use a lot of that kind of shit for that kind of stuff, well, that's a prime example of that kind of thing. So, yeah. Yep. So, yeah, that's funny. Oh, that is funny. All right. We're going to wrap it up here, boys and girls. We'll be live. I'm going to go set up the Doctor Who stream for tonight. We will still be live for that. Well, yeah, but please, people believe abortion's a good thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, Olivia Strauss. So yeah, like people can believe that what they're doing is good. Does not make it good. Does not make it good. And if they're lying to themselves about their quote unquote good intentions, well, that's not good intentions then. They're just lying to themselves, trying to convince themselves that what they're doing is fine. He is finding fault if he did do any and asking for restoration and forgiveness. Yeah, there you go. It'll be fun to get to. We've just got apparently, according to Stelios, we've got 1 through 31 on this one. So we've still got a little ways to go in this one. So I like this, though. It speaks a lot of good conversations. I like that a lot, though. I like that a lot. So, all right. Back over here. Let's bookmark this before we go anywhere so we don't forget. All right. Bookmark this one. Sunday Funday. There we go. That's our Sunday Funday. Oh, paved with good intentions. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. There's arguments. You might just be arguing semantics at that point, but it's one of those things. It's like I don't think those people actually had good intentions. I think they might have tried to lie to themselves and tell other people that they had good intentions, but I don't think they actually ever had good intentions. So, but I guess that's just looking back on history with a whatchamacallit. What do they call it? The 2020 vision, right? Hindsight's 2020. Well, and that's the other thing too. Even if you're intending good, but you're using evil means to justify that, that's not good. So evil for the sake of doing good is not good. Yeah, that's one of the other things too about that. So this is a moral argument we could have all day long. But yeah, there's a lot of people that lie to themselves in the world and lied to everybody else around them too about what they actually intended to do with things. But hey, no one knows the heart but God. So it's funny too today because we had a guest pastor today at our church, Pastor Penny, and he was doing a really good thing over like the whole birth of Jesus Christ and about a little bit of the judgment and everything else that comes with all of that afterwards. The book of life and the book of all your acts and how every knee will bow and everybody will account for their actions. And it's one of those things. It's like it's like one of those things. It's like one of them situations where it's like we can call evil, but whether or not what their intents actually were, maybe they were delusional, maybe they were crazy, maybe they did think they had the best intentions. I have no idea. But we'll all find out eventually, I guess. We'll find out eventually. We'll all find out eventually. So, all right. What about Pastor Dollar? No, I know Pastor Dollar would have been funny, and it's funny too because one of my Pastor Jim's funny. He was like, I forgot to ask Pastor Penny's name so I could put it in the title of the live stream this morning. And so he's like, hold on a second. He pulls a penny out of his pocket. He's like, here, this way you'll remember him. I'm like, you're hilarious. So I stuck the penny in my wallet. But yeah. So, all right, boys and girls, Levistro, JRR24, Spaceship Vampire, the Comic Relief Crusader, and anybody else out there that might still be lurking and listening over on that side, Stelios, Captain Have Fun, Tim Hayes, and all of the rest of you fine, fabulous folks. Yeah, Captain Have Fun's probably still out there as well. I appreciate you guys so very much. We'll be live tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for When Who Was Good, boys and girls, and we'll torture Sunker with some Torchwood as well, just because that's what we like to do, and I appreciate all of you guys very, very much for being here. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been Jesse with the Common Nerd. I bring you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. I love you all. God bless. I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for When Who Was Good, and enjoy the credits. Bishop Quarter. They're hilarious. When Who Was Good. When Who Was Good. Bubba! See you, Bubba. Oh, yeah, Bubba got a gifted membership here. I forgot about that.